Hi do everybody, Nice back here again, and I've got another inbox review for you today. And today we're going to be looking at Mini Arts P-47. Okay, well, P-47D. So this is the canopy version. Okay, sorry, the bubble canopy version. Okay, this is something very new by Mini Art. I don't think they do many aircraft kits. Now this one is the basic kit, so you only get 2 markings and the plastic to build one aircraft. I believe in the later later boxing that's coming out, the advanced set, you get some more goodies in there. Okay, but I thought, well, I've got this, so we'll have a look and we'll see what's cracking. Okay, so I'll put you on to it and we can get cracking. So let's get cracking with the instructions. This is the first time I've ever actually seen any type of Mini Art kit, because like I said, they don't normally do aircraft, so this is not something I would normally the manufacturer I would normally look at. Okay, it's got a nice glossy instruction manual, A4 instruction manual. Nice how it's set out on the front, so you've got a picture of one of the markings. You've got the general instructions, so you've got a highly detailed model. Hatches can be posed, open and closed. 3 types of wheels, clear parts included, and decal sheet for 2 variants. I open it up, you can actually see there are quite a few different sprues in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 grey plastic sprues by the looks of it. 1 set of clear parts and 2 sets of decals. Okay, so we've got the markings and then we've got the stencil data. We get straight into it, and that's actually really nice by the looks of it. So we're starting to build the seat up, as you can see here, but by the looks of it, we have got plastic seat belts. Okay, so wait a minute, no, scratch that. They are actually molded on these parts, and then you add that part in the middle. How that will work, I don't know until I actually have a look at the kit. Personally, I'm not a fan of molded on seat belts, but we'll see how well they've done. So section 1 is building the actual seat, putting the seat onto the cockpit floor with a control stick and some other knobs and what have you. By the looks of it, that's part of maybe the pedals. Then we've got coming onto the sidewall, and some more of the bulkheads on there, another sidewall and the instrument panel. We've got the instrument panel with the cockpit decals. Whether it's going to be a whole or not, or whether it's individual ones, we will find out. The different sort of painting, which again I've not seen anywhere about what's actually, I'll just check, so hopefully there might be later on, but there's nothing on there that tells you what paint manufacturer they are calling out, other than these colours out here. So as you can see, we've got 17, 18, 8 and 7 up, so we'll find that out later hopefully. So we're using the tail wheel there. We've then got the one side of the fuselage with an aerial going on. Not too keen on that because I can see that getting broken off quite easily. The rear wheel well. Okay, then we've got this scoop here, which is like an exhaust. Some more little bits going on. We've then got the cockpit actually going into the tub. We've then got this front panel, which is for the forward part of the fuselage. The engine bulkhead going in there. We then move on into a fully detailed engine. Okay, but it hasn't got any ignition harnesses by the looks of it. It's just got the I think what they call push rods. We haven't got this that goes around, this framing that goes around the engine, so the 2 engines, and then the propeller hub just there, mounting onto another bulkhead, which I'm assuming fits to this part here. and then we've got what looks like the lower cowling of the front of the engine. So that bit there will sit down there, and the Thunderbolt had a couple of vents underneath the actual cowling, which you can see just here. Okay, so the cowling, as well as that bit, you've got 4 parts that go on, and you can have the engine flaps open or closed on this one. We then move on to attaching the wheel and the wheel doors before we move on to the main wheel well. So you've got this part here, which then slots on there. Okay, you can see we're going to have some detail within this wheel well, and we've got some of the control surfaces. Okay, we've got the cannons going into the gun bay, some more parts of the undercarriage going on, the control parts going on to there. You've got an inside view, so drilling out holes for the rocket launcher tubes, sandwiching the 2 wings together, and then you do the exact same on the other wing as it goes through. We've then come to the wheels, and we have got 3 different wheel hubs and potentially different tires, unless they've just got that wrong. But as you can see, we've got a cross and a diamond. Okay, so we'll have to have a look at the kit when we come to it. We then move to the undercarriage legs and a little I can't remember what that's called. Okay, but that's the spring for it to move. We've then looking at the undercarriage doors. So looking like this is a 3-part thing. So you've got the inside, what looks like the outside, sandwich it together, and then another bit that goes on the top. We then look at putting the wings onto the fuselage, the tail on, and then we have got the wheels going in, whether they're open or closed, like there. Putting the propellers on. I've never been a fan really of these 2-part propellers. I'd much rather have them in one, or have the propellers sliding in, because there's sometimes maybe a seam line there, but we'll have a look at that when we come to the kit. We've then got the canopy, okay, that goes on with a strengthening bar. We've got a pylon for the fuel tank, and you've got your 108-gallon paper drop tank, your 200-gallon dot tramp, or your 150-gallon drop tank. Okay, now a lot of these aircraft, they tend to use these 200-gallon drop tanks. We then move on to adding the bombs onto the pylons. So you've got your 1,000-pound bomb, you've got a smoke grenade, you've got a 250-pound bomb, a 500-pound bomb, or the rocket launcher. And then you can see how all the different ordnance actually goes onto the aircraft. Before we then move on to the stencil data. And then we have got the colour callouts. Okay, so we've got hail as Joe from the 62nd Fighter Squadron, 52nd Fighter Group, 8th Air Force. Pilot is Colonel David Schilling. And then we've got the 82nd Fighter Squadron, 78th Fighter Group, 8th Air Force, Duxford, summer 1944. Okay, and okay, it tells you which decals to use and stuff like that. It's got these numbers for the colour call outs. Okay, which when we go on to the final page, there we are, all the colour call outs. So there's the number. Okay, we get Vallejo, Mr. Colour, AK, Mission Marshal Mobiles, Ammo MiG, and timing, and then the colour name. So there's actually a wide variety of choices on there. Okay, so that's the instructions. So I have opened up all the bags, so we'll just move through the sprues. So this one is sprue D, DA, and DC. Don't know where DB is, okay, but we've got our wheels, we've got parts of the undercarriage, parts of the cowling, the guns, okay, so, and the cannon and the cockpit. So we'll start in the cockpit. So straight off, some really nice detail. Obviously on the cockpit floor, there was this corrugated sort of thing on this aircraft. Same with this bulkhead here. Then we've got one of the side panels. Okay, you can see there's some really nice detail on there. We've got the instrument panel. Okay, again, looks like really nice detail on there. Nice fabric texture around the control column and this tube here. Okay, and we've even got a little bit of detail on the actual control, the pedals. We then move on to the wheels. So look, we've got the crosshatch ones and we have got the diamond ones. The problem being, obviously, they're two parts, so you're going to have seams. And if we turn it over, okay, they just should slot together nicely, but you'll have to get rid of that just little bit of injection left over just there. Move on to some more of the actual wheelbase, some nice rivet detail, okay, on that part there. It's really fine, I can't really get it any closer. We have the four, I think there were 50 cal cannons, and these are all hollowed out, which is a nice touch. And then we've got parts of these bits slotting on the underwing, and just looking at that part already, you can see it's got some lovely rivet detail on there. Okay. Next up, we have parts of the engine and the propellers. So we'll just go from right to left. And we can see the engine parts here look really, really nice. They've got really nice fine veins on them. Okay. The only downside, I'll just get something to point with. Okay. You can just see, hopefully, if I can get it to focus, just this area here, you can see we've got a little bit of flash, okay, around these two parts. Now, it's not a deal breaker, okay, but also you're going to have to get rid of that, and then you might end up having a line or something there, so it's something to be aware of. We've got the nose hub, okay, these two frames. Okay, we've got the push rods, so I'm assuming one's for front, one's for back. We've got the exhausts, okay, and I can't really see, I can't remember which way, how these go, okay, but they might be hollowed out, there might be other parts that are hollowed out, but we shall see. I can't remember seeing it in the instruction. And then other parts of the actual engine. So these parts will go around the top of these parts here. Okay, we've got the prop, and like I said, this part where you're going to get the two that meet together, okay, you're going to have a seam line around these parts here, so you're going to have to get rid of that. Next, on to the main fuselage. Okay, so on the main fuselage, you can see it is fully riveted. Okay, even in this part here. So this part here is for the wheel wells. Okay, now the question is it a slight tad too heavy? It's very Trumpiest. That's going to sound like it's very like trumpeter rivets. Okay, it's nice. Okay, and it feels nice. The plastic feels nice. Again, a little bit of flash just there. Okay, again, it can be dealt with. Okay, but yes, it's the panel lines and the roots just look a tad, especially this one back here. This panel line here, this main panel line, looks very, very heavily done. Okay, don't get me wrong, it's lovely, and I reckon it'll build up into a lovely model. Okay, and then on the inside, we've got these parts again. Look, so you've got your little nubs, which these bits here, okay, potentially just this one actually here, that one might be just in the way as well. Okay, we'd have to get rid of those. Same on this side, so we'll have to get rid of that one, and we'll have to get rid of that one. So the cockpit wall can fit in there properly. Nothing wrong with the tail, as I can see. Can't see anything wrong with these two parts here, okay, where they're meeting. And like a lot of companies do now, they tend to put these, see these little parts here, the sprue gates, they tend to put half and half, but they're actually quite big sprue gates. So you'd have to probably slit them off and then file them down to make the best mating surfaces. Okay. Right, so these next parts, they're out of the, I just took them out of the bags. Okay, so we've got the control surfaces. So we've got the flaps and the slats. No, it's not slats. The flaps and the ailerons. Okay, the main tail, the wheel covers. Okay, and then we've got the molded on seat belts. Again, it's not too bad. I suppose you might get away with it on this, but I've not seen this molded on seat belts done for a while, really. So it's, yeah, until I see the rest of the parts, I can't see the rest of the seat. Oh, there we are. Okay, these are the other parts of the seat. So you've got the side of the seats just here, and you can see the seat belts just there. And let's see if I can find the other part of the seat belt, which I can't see anywhere. Okay, so I'll keep looking. If I see it, I will point it out. But again, you can see it's got some nice rivet detail, and the panel lines again look a little bit heavy just to my eye. Okay, they might look a lot better once painted. Remember this aircraft, these markings, they're not in a natural metal finish. Okay, so they should stand up well to a wash and what have you for the olive drab and stuff like that. Then we've got to look on the inside of the parts. So again, we've got nubbins here that we need to potentially get rid of. Mind you, that's the part for which it's closed, so it should be okay. And then I'm just looking again more over there. Okay, part of the doors, the engine cowlings. Yeah, it all looks not too bad. There are like little, like I said, they probably maybe need sanding down, but I don't know how they're going to fit together. But it'll all be about test fitting. Okay. So the next part, we've got some more wheels, and we've got the ordnance now. Okay, so some weight on wheels this time. All right, with the different hubcaps, parts for the rocket. We've got the fuel tanks, and then we've got the bombs. And the rockets are really nicely done. Okay, so you can see we've got the front of the rocket there, and then we've got the rear, the fuses of the rockets, and it's actually done really nicely. Nice detail in the wheel hubs. So this one here, you can see the actual markings on the wheel hub just there. So again, nice work. Nice paper fuel tank there. The only downside I can see of is there's just a little seam mark just there. Okay, and it runs down all the way down these parts. Okay, so they would quick swipe of a sanding stick and that should get rid of those. We've got another one with all what I've just shown you. And then we move on to the upper and lower wings and the cowling. So, okay. So some nice rivet detail. See, this here looks really nice. Okay. compared to over here, you know, it looks slightly heavy. Okay. We've got the legs, so we've got some with the weight and some that are fully extended, so maybe in takeoff. Okay, we've then got some of these cowling parts, and you can see again some nice detail on there. The engine bulkhead, some more of the cowling, and some more parts of the wheelbase, and again you've got some nice raised rivet detail on there. Turn them over, and we have the top of the wheelbase, and you can see there's some nice strengthening mark, and on those they've got the rivets all the way down, which looks really nice. Looks like it's going to be a nice, good locating point for the wheels, so they should get a nice positive location and should get the right sort of angle you need. We then move on to the canopy. Okay, nice and clear, but it seems a little thick. Okay, the actual the clearness, the actual plastic itself seems a little on the thick side. But again, it's got some nice detail on the actual framing of the fuselage, of the main canopy. And it's got some nice detail on the framing of the actual windshield. That fetches up to the markings. So we've got two sheets. Okay, these are printed by Cartograph. All right, so we've got the decals for the stencil, so we've got top view, bottom view, right view, left view. Okay, bombs, fuel tanks. So that's actually really nice. So they've broken it down, so if you just wanted to do like what I do, I tend to do a top and a bottom, or a side and a side, and leave it and do the top and the bottom, or whatever. So how they've done that is really nice. I like that. Okay, then we've got the separate bomb decals. We have got our pylons decals and our tanks decals. So that's really cool. On to the main markings. Okay, so you have your all these are done by Cartograph. So we have our main markings. We've got our cockpit decals, and you can see they're not, unfortunately, separate ones, so you'd have to make them bed down or try and cut them out. Now I have got a hole punch, so I might be able to punch those out to be able to do them individually. Okay, we got a checkerboard. Okay, is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Whether that you use it all or not, I don't know. But that might be a little bit of a pain to actually line up. But other than that, Cartograph decals, so you really can't go wrong with them. Okay. So that's Mini Arts P-47 Thunderbolt. Now, there is an advanced kit coming out. I don't know what you get in that advanced kit. It's probably some photo etch and whatever that's coming out later on this year. This one you can pick up for about anywhere from £35 to £38, £39. I think the RRP is £39 or something like that. It looks okay. Obviously, there are others on the market. You've got the Tamiya one, you've got the Hasegawa one, you've got a Academy one. The Academy one builds up nicely, but it lacks a little bit of detail. The Tamiya one is Tamiya, builds up beautifully, goes together really well. Got just enough detail to be going on with. Really nice panel lines, but no rivet detail. This one's got the rivet detail. Some might think it's a little bit heavy or overdone. I'm on the fence at the moment until I see what it's like when it's actually painted. okay, because obviously if you're doing it natural metal finish, you might want them a bit finer. If you're doing it olive drab or the colour that's on the box art, so doing it that side for one, okay, you might want a little bit more definition in your panel lines and your rivets. The proof will be in the pudding. Okay, the proof will be in how it actually goes together, because remember I said it's going up against the Tamiya kit. So the Tamiya kit and this one are roughly nowadays similar sort of price. Okay, about £35 if I remember rightly. I can't remember off the top of it, but they're roughly the same sort of price. So they're going to head to head more or less. Definitely get more parts in this. Normally more parts gives you a little bit more detail, but it can also be a challenge to build, which I have heard about mini art kits. I've never built one myself, so I wouldn't really know whether that is the case. Anyway, that's enough me prattling on. Okay, I will upload this, so you should get it on Friday. And if you're about, come and say hello. I will see you at Telford. Bye for now.